Hey everybody, it's Wendy from the Lexington Senior Center. We sure do miss you around here. I thought I would do a quick 30-minute get up and go express class for you today. Did you recognize me with all this long hair? You know, I've never seen me with my hair this long. If you want to work with a chair, that's fine. Go ahead and grab one. Make sure it's sturdy. I don't recommend using like an easy chair in your living room. Get something like a good sturdy kitchen chair. If you have hand weights, grab some. If you don't have hand weights, maybe just pick up some canned goods or a couple plastic water bottles and use those for resistance. Or if you don't want to do that, you certainly don't have to. Just focus on contracting those muscles. We will be posting other workouts over the next few days, some active aging and movement workouts, maybe some cardio kickboxing. So just keep an eye on our Facebook page and we'll send those links out to you. When you start to look at your space to work out, make sure that there's nothing in the way, that you don't have any carpets that you can trip over, there's no trip hazards, make sure you have good lighting, that kind of thing. This workout will be about 30 minutes long. We are using a Silver Sneakers music CD from Muscle Mixes, and I hope you'll work out with me. All right, let's start with just a little march, and remember, you can always stay in your seat for any of these exercises, all right? So let's just start with an easy little march. And then we want to pull the tummy in just a little bit. We're not going to hold our breath, but we're going to contract those abdominal muscles. Start to roll those shoulders a little bit towards the back of the room. Picking up your feet. And then give me a few little wrist circles. Working in both directions. Maybe wiggle those fingers a little bit. Wake up those hands. Open and close those hands. And then pump the arms. Nice big march. And remember, if working the arms and the legs together is too much, focus on your legs. Leg movement is more important than the arm movement. Take those feet a little wider. Focusing on picking up the feet if you can. Keeping that breath nice and steady. We're going to plant the feet a little bit and just tap the toes. Knees are soft. Maybe add a little bit of hip into that. Let's tap just one foot. Doesn't matter which one you work. And then we'll just switch feet. So we want those feet wide. We're going to set ourselves up for just a few squats, maybe 4 or 5. We'll stop the feet. Push those hips back. Give you just a little of a bit of a squat, just like you're sitting and standing. Pull that tummy in. We'll go 4 more. 2 more. And we'll march again. We go. Let's bring those feet in. Keeping the feet, let's push those arms front. Focus on pulling those shoulder blades together as you bring those arms back. Keep the arms, let's tap the toes long. Really extend from the hip to the big toe. Can you push those arms overhead a little bit? Good, flex the foot, make it a heel dig. Take a quick check of the tummy. Let's push those arms up and down. So work it up and down, up and down. Good, stay with those heel digs. Couple more. And then we'll stay with that bicep curl, nice and loose. We're going to work one heel, one knee. So we push one leg out front with the heel, work the opposite knee, right and left. Keeping those arms going, so it's a heel and a knee. Heel and a knee. We're just switching legs. Knee and heel. Knee and heel. Stand up nice and tall. Watch you're not leaning back. Good, a couple more. Going back to that march. Taking those feet wide. Bringing them in. Taking them wide. Bringing them in. Let's work wide and then narrow. So working out and in. If it feels better to step front a little bit and make it more of a V-step, that's A-okay with me. Let's take the arms same direction as the legs. Out and in. Out, out and in. Good, 4 more. Couple more, and then we're gonna stop and do some calf raises. Ready? Here we go. Lift and lower. Remember, the heel's coming up, we're pushing the head straight up. Watch that you're not falling forward. Try to keep those eyes on a stationary object. Let's march with the opposite foot. Here we go. Working wide. Bringing it in. So we're going to take that out, out, in movement with that new lead leg. Working out and in. Let's take the arms opposite of the legs. So when the feet are out, the arms work in. So warming up that brain a little bit as we work that body. Trying to get that blood pumping from head to toe. Couple more. March and jump rope, go. Nice high knees. Crisscross that rope, go. Take that rope back outside. Crisscross. Take it back outside. Crisscross. Tap the toes out front. Go. Push and push. Add a little scoop. Grab that water behind you and throw it right up on top of you. Big scoops. Heel digs we go. Scooping that water. Couple more. Then we're going to go back to the calf raises. Ready, set, we go. Plant those feet. Ankles under your hips. Pushing that head straight up. Nice space between your ears and your shoulders. Couple more, and then we're going to start a single side step to the side. Ready, set, go. Nice step. Just a step touch. Do whatever you want with those arms. You can stay with that step touch or add that hamstring curl. Add a little squat in there if you can. Open up those arms wide. Going back to our squats, you ready? Let's go. Sit and stand, push those hips back, pull that tummy in. 4 more. 2 more. Stand up tall, gentle swing, side to side, relax your knees, gentle swing. Nice, easy little twist. We're going to move to some standing legs. So if you want to work with that chair, you probably want to move behind the chair. So directly behind the chair, those hips are front. We're going to separate the feet. You're just going to give me a lateral raise. Pull that leg to the side. So it's a lift and lower. Staying up nice and tall. You can work to the side of the chair as well. So if that helps. Or you can work with no chair and work on that balance. Hips, knees, and toes are all facing forward. Let's go 4 more. Couple more. We're just moving to the opposite side, so nothing fancy. Chest is out, tummy's in, knees are soft. Flex your foot, we're lifting that left leg. Out, in. Or the opposite leg, doesn't really matter which one you're on. Watch that you don't start falling into that chair, so we want to be up tall. Remember, you can always work to the side of the chair. Knees are soft. Good, a couple more. Let's stop right there. Push those hips side to side a little bit. Release it. Going back to the first leg. So remember, hips, knees, and toes front. I'm going to push that chair to the side so you can see what I'm asking you to do. We're going back to that side lift. We're going to add a hamstring curl. So it's a lift and a curl. In and out. Lift, curl. So I'm going to lift, curl. Watch that as you lift, you're not swinging your knee forward. Okay, you want to keep those legs side by side. Lift, curl, out and down. A couple more. Lift, curl, out and down. That stabilizing leg, the knee is soft. One more. Let's switch sides. If you need a little break in between, that's fine. Up nice and tall, tummy in, chest out. We're working that lift to the side. So I've got the lift, curl, lift, curl. Think about the hamstring curl as a bicep curl for your leg. So focusing on contracting that hamstring, just like you do on your bicep curl, you contract that bicep. So the hamstring's really considered the bicep of the leg. A couple more just like that. Good, we're relaxing. We're going to push side to side. Maybe hold just a gentle little stretch, just enough to release through the hips. And then we're going to move on to the chair, head in a seat. Of course, you don't have to sit if you don't want to. You might want to grab a drink of water. I'm going to grab those hand weights. Just have them close by. We'll set them to the side. It's usually best when you go to pick up your weights to reach to the side rather than to the front and underneath. You're less likely to come out of the chair. So sitting forward on the chair, definitely the first half of the chair, maybe even the first third. Go back to those easy shoulder circles towards the back of the room. Let your heart rate come down some. Wiggle your toes. Give me those few wrist circles. Make sure you go both directions and wiggle those fingers a little bit. Good, my feet are flat to the floor. We're just gonna take the head side to side nice and slow. Give a little gaze, maybe count 1, 2, and we'll come back to center. And then you work opposite side. Maybe count 1, 2, and back to center. We'll go one more time on each side. Good. Coming center, we'll tip down, count 1, 2, work center. Tip back gently, we're not forcing it, we're just thinking about lengthening here. Going back center. One more time to the floor. And center, and up. And center, good. So we're gonna take the feet wide, a little bit wider than your hips. Drop the knees in, you're gonna roll to the inside of the foot. So I'm gonna have the knees in, and then I'm going to open the legs. So I'm going to work a knee in and open the legs. So I'm going to feel my foot actually roll to the inside of the foot and then the outside of the foot. Inside of the foot, outside of the foot. Couple more. Nice and easy. Sitting up nice and tall. Working as big of a range of motion as feels comfortable for you. Good. We'll come center. Let's pick up those hand weights. Work to the side of the body. Remember, even though we have hand weights or those canned goods, we still want to focus on muscle contraction. All right, and that has nothing to do with squeezing the weight. Focus on the bicep and the tricep. So the two muscles in the upper arm. We're gonna work straight hammer curls. So no turning of the palm. Elbows stay in, close to the rib cage. And work the head as if I have tied a string to the top of your head and then attached it to the ceiling. And then I've given it a little bit of a tug so that the neck is nice and long. A couple more. Focusing on the extension as well as the bending of the elbow. Let's go to some frontal races. We're going to keep the palms facing the body. I'm going to lift out nice long straight arm, no higher than the shoulder. Work opposites, alternating sides. Breathing as steady as possible, or you can work that exhale on the hardest part of your movement. Working nice and slow on the way up and the way down. Those shoulders stay down. Good, we're pulling on that string a little bit so that posture looks good. Let's work one more on each side. Focus on muscle contraction. We're not going to be doing 100 reps on each side. So let's put those two movements together. So I'm going to work a bicep curl here, but I'm going to work a frontal raise here. And the goal is to work those at the exact same time and try to maintain that good form. So that bicep curl, that elbow is in close to the rib cage. My frontal raise, the arm is extended. We're just going to switch sides. So I'm working the bicep curl here and the hammer curl. And I'm working that long frontal raise here. The goal is to try to work those together and maintain good form. So what are your options here? You can put your weights down, or you don't have to work those movements at the same time. You can work the bicep curl and then the frontal raise. Let's work one more. Good, relaxing it down. Wiggle your fingers a little bit and just give me a few shoulder shrugs. I'm gonna come up, I'm gonna pull those shoulders behind the ears, and then I'm gonna slide those shoulder blades down the spine, nice and slow. So I work up, back, down, slow. Up, back, down, slow. Up, back, down, slow. Up, back, down, slow. Couple more. Up, back, and down. Shoulders down. Let's work one more. Arms are nice and straight. Good. Relax those weights into your lap. Just drop the chin. Hold there nice and steady. Let the back of the neck lengthen a little bit. And then we'll bring that chin up. We're going to go back into that bicep curl, that hammer curl, that 90-degree angle. And all I'm going to do is open and close that gate. So my arms are in an L shape as much as possible. And I'm hugging the rib cage with those elbows. So if you know me, you know I love to teach, but I can tell you this right now, I like to teach when there's people in the room. I'm not all about teaching on video. You know, these are challenging times, so I don't mind being challenged and teaching on video, but I can't wait until there are people in here exercising with me, providing me with some energy. Couple more. Good, relaxing it down, wiggling those fingers a little bit. Maybe circling those wrists. We're gonna put the weights up and then come back up in a standing position and move a little bit more. It's a good opportunity for you to grab another drink of water. Chances are you are not drinking enough water, being stuck at home. So try to get that water in for me. So going back to our march, you might want to circle those shoulders, maybe shake those arms out a little bit. Getting that nice march in. We're gonna go back to that single side step. Ready? Here we go. So step touch. I'm sure you remember how to make this a little bit more challenging, just to add a little bit of a squat. Step touch, step touch. Go ahead and add that hamstring curl. Back to that march, let's go. We're gonna add on a little bit and create a little bit of a pattern. Step side to side. Add that hamstring curl. Up. Do whatever you want with those arms. Keep the feet wide. Good. Going back to that march. Here we go. Nice big march. Modify if you need to. Drop those arms. Step side to side. Hamstring curl. Keep the feet wide, lift the knees, go. Up. Back to the march, pump the arms if you can. Step side to side. Hamstring curl. Just keep moving. Wide knees, go. Up. Let's squat. You can work a deep squat or you can work a shallow squat. That's fine. Just bend and straighten those legs a little bit. Back to the march. Here we go. Step side to side. Curl the heel. Wide knees. Head is up. Let's squat. Squat halfway. Give me little punches. Remember, we shift our weight in our feet. We're not stuck in concrete. Punch in, punch in. Tummy's in. Back to the march. Step side to side. Curl the heel. Wide knees. Squat. Stop and punch. Ready, go. Punch hard. Extend that arm. Last time, let's march. Step touch. Curl the heel. Wide knees. Squat. Feet stay wide. Let's punch. Slow down your punch. So punch, punch. Add a little bit of a turn. Turn the hips, knees, and toes. Make it a push instead. Then I'm going to set the feet down and work with the trunk. Rotating. Bring the elbows in, give me a little twist. Head can follow the hands or the head can stay center. Knees are soft. Good, a couple more each side. Tummy's in. Make that rotation work from your waist. Heart rate should be coming down. Roll those shoulders back. Again. Again. One more. Easy march, easy. So we're gonna let that heart rate come down a little bit, work your brain. So you're gonna take one arm up, down. So I'm gonna touch my shoulder in the center. Up, touch, down, touch. Good, a couple more. Let's stop. We're gonna take the opposite arm and work upside down. So work it up, side, down. Couple more. Up, side, down. Touching that shoulder in between. Good, relax it. Let's go back to the first arm. First arm works up and down. Working up and down. We're gonna add the second arm, upside down. Working up, side, down. Up, side, down. Remember that first arm's just working up and down. Up, side, down. Oh, I messed up. I started watching myself. That's the bad thing about videotaping yourself. Going back up and down. Up and down. Up and down. Add that second arm, upside down. Up, side, down. Up, side, down. Up, side, down. Up, side, down. One more. Up, side, down. Good. Roll your shoulders. I hope you did better than me on that last one. We're going to pick up our weights. If you want to grab your chair, you can. I'll give you options seated and standing. So grab your weights. So we're going to work some rows. You can do it a couple ways. We can sit, feet flat, get that nice hinge forward from the hips and maintain a nice flat back. My arms will extend from the toes and pull back towards the hips. The back and the head are in a nice straight line, so I'm working the row. So you can work seated. Remember that you want that back nice and straight. Watch you don't start doing this stuff, all right? So just hinge forward, and then you'll be working the row. Or you can stand and work in a neutral horse stance with the legs, so it's just like when you're seated. Or you can work into a staggered stance with one leg in front of the other. But we're going to work the rows. We're going to pull and push, squeeze in those shoulder blades. So wherever you need to be, focusing on the back of the body. And don't forget the push. Okay, we pull, but we also want to push away. And you go at a speed that feels right for you. Tummy is in, that hinges from the hips. Just a couple more. Good, we'll relax it. Put those weights in your lap. Wiggle your fingers a little bit. Maybe tip that chin down. And a gentle tip back. Good, we'll come back to center. So we're going to work a tricep extension. You can do that seated. We're just going to work one arm at a time. My suggestion is you move to one side of the chair. So I'm going to put my one weight down. And that way I can hold on a little bit. I'm going to drive the elbow back and come into that hinge at the hips. The elbow stays up and back, and I'm going to simply extend the arm behind me and bend. So working the tricep extension, so the back of the upper arm, or I can come into that standing position. I come into that position almost like I'm in a row, and then I'm going to kick back and pull in. So we're going to keep that palm facing the body. We have a tendency when we start to bend the elbow to let that arm swing in. So try to just keep it there behind the rib cage. Couple more. Good, all we're going going to do is switch sides. So if you're up, you can just pivot around to the opposite side. If you're in that chair, you're going to scooch over a little bit just to give yourself a little bit of room. A little bit of a tip forward from the hip. I'm going to pull that arm back, and then I'm going to kick back. So I press back and pull in, back and pull in. Focusing on the extension, so we feel the back of the arm working. You go at a pace that feels good for you. You do not have to work with the beat of the music when you're working your muscle work. Everybody's range of motion is different. That will affect your speed. Couple more. Good, we're gonna relax it. Flip it on around, put those weights down. Wiggle your fingers a little bit, then reach around and give yourself a nice big hug. So it can be challenging to work the chest in this type of a situation. So my suggestion to you would be try to do some wall push-ups at home if you're not comfortable with getting onto the floor to do some type of a push-up, or even up against your kitchen counter. You place the hands on the counter and then sort of lean and tip your body at a diagonal, and you can work your push-ups that way. Go ahead and open the arms nice and wide. Take your fingertips towards your tailbone. So I have a certain room in my house, and I've just told myself every time I go into that room, I need to do 10 push-ups. And it does one of two things. Either it gets a lot of push-ups in during the day, or it keeps me out of that room. But in any case, particularly if that room is the kitchen, that's probably a good thing. I don't need to be eating so much. But if you can work in a few push-ups a day, it is not only good for the chest and the back, the shoulders, but it is a great abdominal workout. Your core has to stabilize there. Take those arms up if you can. Keep them forward to your face. And we'll relax, roll those shoulders a little bit. We're going to scoot over to one side of the chair and just kick that outside leg back. Tuck your hip under a little bit. Tilt that pelvis. Stretch out that hip flexor and that quadricep. And we're going to swing the arms around and just turn and look behind. Get an easy little twist. We're not forcing it. And you can do this stretch standing as well. We'll come back to center. We're going to work center of the chair. We're going to take that outside leg and cross it over. So sitting sort of what we call man style, or in a number 4 position if you think of your legs in a number. The knee is open. I'm going to tilt forward from the hip. We're not pushing on the leg. The hands can go on that stabilizing leg if you want to. Just a nice steady release for the hip. And of course, we'll come up and work to the opposite side in the stretch. Remember, when you stretch, you want to hold nice and still. So we're not doing any type of bouncing in our stretching. We're doing static stretches. In a perfect world, we would hold our stretches about 1 minute each stretch. The world is not perfect. We typically don't do that in a class situation. So now that you are home a little bit more, maybe you can work some stretches into your daily routine. Just remember, you want to stretch the muscle after you've warmed it. So you want to get a little bit of movement going before you start stretching, particularly if you're trying to increase your flexibility. Go ahead and pull that leg in. We'll cross over, that ankle over the knee. Now, if you can't get the leg up that high, you can cross ankle to ankle and think about opening the knee wide. We'll hinge forward. Should feel that stretch on the outside of the hip, maybe into that lower back just a touch. So we just did a quick workout today. Got your heart rate up a little bit, did a little bit of legs, bicep, triceps, some back work. Got a little bit of core work in. I would suggest you try to walk 10 to 20 minutes sometime today. And perhaps next time you'll walk the 10 to 20 minutes first and then flip the video on and finish your workout that way. And we'll come up nice and steady. Good. Couple good shoulder rolls. An easy breath in and out. If you want to swing those arms up and take a good breath and expand the rib cage, you can. A nice exhale. So that's it for our Get Up and Go Express class today. Thanks so much for working out with me. We'll be posting some other videos so that you have some variety going. I also highly suggest maybe you visit the Silver Sneaker site, or perhaps the Sit and Be Fit videos that you find on YouTube are also excellent. So stay healthy at home, and we'll see you soon.